When we last left Steve, should we start the whole story over again so you guys know where we're at? It's kind of a crazy story. Should we? No, but we will. Yes. Okay. All right. So, so Steve is a snail, as most of you know. And Steve is on a quest to deliver insulin to his diabetic friend. It is a very time sensitive quest, as you all know. And no, the friend is not dead yet. They're still on the quest. Come on. So, what's happened? What's happened is so Steve got the insulin belt, right? And then he ended up going onto this picnic table, and that's when a bird saw him, picked up Steve, and that's when Steve had an unfortunate heart attack and died. But what ended up happening, which is kind of great for Steve, is that he got dropped onto a train. And when he got dropped onto his train, that actually restarted. He got dropped hard enough that it restarted his heart, but not hard enough to kill him. Fairly amazing. Amazing for Steve. So, but what happened is, so after we'll get to the hair. We'll get to the hair. So he like his heart was restarted, and he made his way to the front of the train, and that's where he met the conductor, his friend. And he told the conductor about his quest, and the conductor was very on board. Very on board. He said, "Yes, let's absolutely do it." And that's when their train got a flat tire in the desert. And it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate because it is a time sensitive issue. But so they broke it down in the desert, and while they were walking in the desert, they decided that they would make some smoke signals, and in the middle of the night. And fortunately, some aliens did see the smoke signals while they were passing by in their 747. So they decided to crash land so that they could pick up these two, and so they got in, and then they managed to pull up somehow. And then Steve got so drunk. Yeah, because Steve got like really, he just got so excited to meet these aliens, right? Because like the aliens knew so much, and Steve just wanted to know everything. And he was like, we're on this ride together, and they had some really nice like space booze, and that wasn't part of the story before, but that's definitely happened, right? Steve's a lightweight, yeah. Steve's a lightweight because he's a snail and he's very small, and he was drinking like full on shots, so not the best as far as like body to ratio of alcohol. But what happened? So what happened? Right. Well, it's nice to see you, Miss Victorious. So what ended up happening after the space booze dilemma is he started throwing up, and lo and behold, the conductor had to hold back his long, gorgeous, flowing hair. That's when we found out that Steve had some amazingly blonde, beautiful hair, as some of you know. And then so the because of their crash landing, because of the aliens crash landing, they couldn't land in Massachusetts where they were going. I'm a So instead, they asked them to please to please so because they couldn't land because of their broken landing tires. They asked them to jump. Fortunately, Steve is actually a certified diving instructor, and that's what we found out during the during that song. So Steve, he dove, and while he was diving with his he had a grocery bag on, and while he was descending with his grocery bag down to the ground, that's when the bird from the original, from the first song, saw him because the bird was flying along, and all of a sudden, dun dun dun, that's right, the bird is back, right? Bird was back, trying to attack Steve, but fortunately, Steve had his absolute trusty slingshot with him, and he shot that bird, and the bird descended down, and that's when the bird actually got caught by his friend, who is an owl. So that's what happened, and then he had a 10-point landing. It was man, the landing is spectacular landing. Like he, had his hands up in the air, and there was points awarded and everything, and it was outstanding. That's right. But what ended up happening is the conductor was not so lucky. He actually just like fell straight to the ground, and not good for the conductor. Not good for the conductor. So the conductor was in really rough shape, and then that's when Steve decided that it was time to part ways with the conductor, because he was holding him back at this point, and he was saying, yeah, he was saying he's got to help his friend, right? And the conductor and him, they had this really, really hard conversation. They were both sobbing, right? But he had to make that tough decision, and as he was walking away, that's when the ambulance came. Right? And the ambulance pulled up right in the nick of time, right before Steve had actually left. And he was walking into the sun. He was well on his way walking into the sunset. And that's when the ambulance arrived. And then the ambulance fixed him up like so fast. It was unbelievable. Like, doesn't even make sense actually. Like, but they must have had maybe some of the alien technology. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. They gently like just like a quick needle and just like back on his feet kind of thing. It was amazing. So, so that they started to walk away. And that's when the ambulance guys were just like, hey, you know what? Like maybe we could actually help you get to your destinations in Massachusetts. And so what ended up happening now is they are in the ambulance on their way into Massachusetts. That's where we left Steve. Ready? I don't know where we're going to go, but we're going to find out. Okay. Steve. He was a man of many talents. On his way in the ambulance with his friend, the conductor. The conductor had an idea. He said, Steve, your friend is a diabetic, and we have insulin, which is really exciting. It's very exciting. It's very exciting that we're going to help your friend. But do you think he might be hungry? Do you think your friend might be hungry? And he said, I haven't thought about that. I didn't think about that until just now. Maybe we should go and pick him up something from McDick's. McDick's is a slang term for McDonald's. That's what they said. It wasn't my words. It's theirs. The conductor said, I think that I saw that they might have spicy chicken McNuggets. And he said, whoa, that's amazing. Maybe we should get him some spicy chicken McNuggets. So they went into the McDonald's. They asked the ambulance driver. They said, "You're not doing anything right." And they said, "No, we're not busy. We're ambulance drivers." And they said, "Oh, okay, great." So they stopped at the ambulance, they stopped the ambulance at the McDick's. They got out, went into the McDonald's, right? And they're standing in line, and man, what a line! It's quite a lineup. But you know, it's worth it. It's worth it for those sweet, spicy McNuggets. And that's when the conductor pulled out his gift card that he had given for Christmas. His gift card. So you see, it was $12.69. Nice. $12.69. He pulled it out. He knew that he had enough. It was at least $20. No one would give a gift without any money on the gift card. That's just senseless. Senseless. And he had a $10 bill on him. So he knew that this would work out. This was the conductor's big moment. He handed them the card. Handed them the card. Handed them this beautiful card. There must be a mistake. That's what the conductor chimed in. He said, there must be a mistake. What are you talking about? There must be call your head office. Call your head office. It must have been... my family wouldn't have done that. Steve, do you have any money on you? I have 2 quarters. Said Steve. So they just kind of stood in the lineup very awkwardly because they had $10.50 and their bill was $15, or it was $12.69. Nice. $12.69, that's what it was. They were so close, yet so far. Should they go outside and beg for a while? Like, should they ask the people in line? No, they have much more dignity than that. But they wanted their spicy McNuggets, right? So what are they to do but get jobs at the McDonald's? that's where we end the story. That's where we end the tale of Steve.